Hello, everyone, and welcome to Been All Around This World, the podcast devoted to the life's work of folklorist Alan Lomax. We hope you will forgive our prodigality. It's been a number of months since we have produced an episode and provided it to you, and we're showing up in your inbox right here on the threshold of Christmas. And here we're offering you some of the very greatest recordings in the Alan Lomax collection, dealing with the holiday of Christmas and, at least in one instance, perhaps two, the coming new year. My name is Nathan Salzberg. I'm curator of the Alan Lomax Archive at the Association for Cultural Equity. I am your host. The singing you heard at the top of the program was recorded on Christmas Eve 1952 by Alan Lomax in the Spanish village of Cáceres in La Mancha. Singing accompanying the Aragonese tradition of processing through the streets, welcoming the Christmas holiday and the birth of Jesus. And we pivoted in the middle to music from a much different Christmas processional, this one in Gingerland on the Caribbean island of Nevis, recorded some 10 years later and in the summer of 1962. That tune is called Christmas Machete, for reasons that were not taken down, at least not by Lomax. Performed by a scratch band led by a flutist named Merritt Boddie. We'll let it play to you uninterrupted for a few more minutes, and then we will hear music from Southwest Virginia, fiddler Norman Edmonds, who perhaps is most famous for accompanying the fantastic banjo player J.P. Nestor, who made just two recordings in the late 1920s, one of which, Train on the Island, appeared for posterity's sake in Harry Smith's Anthology of American Folk Music in 1952. Norman Edmonds and his band, the Old Timers, with an instrumental version of the popular dance tune Breaking Up Christmas. This has been All Around This World. Thank you again for your patience with us. We've been traveling, there have been technical difficulties, many excuses, but we do plan on serving up a full battery of a new season of podcasts in 2019. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
sun, how steady she run. All night long. Watch the sun, how steady she run. All night long. Watch the sun, how steady she run. All night long. Lordy, who shall deliver for me? Oh, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. All night long. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. All night long. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. All night long. Lordy, who shall deliver for me? Oh, then the moon went down in blood. All night long. Then the moon went down in blood. All night long. Then the moon went down in blood. All night long. Lordy, who shall deliver for me? Oh, Jesus was born in Bethlehem. All night long. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. All night long. Jesus was born in Bethlehem. All night long. Lordy, who shall deliver for me? Oh, then the crucify my Lord. All night long. Then they crucify my Lord. All night long. Then they crucify my Lord. All night long. Lordy, who shall deliver for me? By Sophie Loman from Farmland, Georgia.
All Night Long, a watch night shout from St. Simon's Island off the coast of Georgia, led by Sophie Loman Wing and a group that at least includes Zora Neale Hurston, who was visiting the island in 1935 with Alan Lomax and Mary Barnacle. Jesus Born in Bethlehem, All Night Long. And before that, a recording from 1959, Norman Edmonds and the Old Timers with an instrumental version of the dance tune Breaking Up Christmas. This has been All Around This World, our Christmas edition, being slid just over the line before the year ends. Up next are two epic Christmas performances, ones that we'd be absolutely remiss to not include in this show. They're a bit long, but they're definitely worth it. The first is a recording made by John and Ruby Terrell Lomax at the Cumins State Farm, now known as Cumins Unit, in rural Lincoln County, Arkansas, a version of the cumulative song often called the Carol of the 12 Numbers, or simply the Dilly Song. It's over 7 minutes long, which meant, as you'll hear, the Lomaxes had to pause it midway to flip the disc. And then we'll hear the singing of the peerless Vera Ward Hall, late of Livingston, Alabama, and her rendition of Last Month of the Year, which is preceded by the story of No Room at the Inn. No Room at the Inn being a central trope of the Christmas story that in this season marked by talk of borders and walls and artistically designed steel slats we would be wise to hearken to. But first we'll hear this version of The Holy Babe, as performed by Kelley Pace and a group of prisoners at the Cumins State Farm in Arkansas, 1942. This is the same Kelley Pace who 8 years earlier recorded the Rock Island Line for John Lomax. Lead Belly was on hand for that recording. Through him, it was distributed to the world and also to a young English skiffle pioneer named Lonnie Donegan, who in no small part gave rise to the version of English rock and roll that re-entered this country under the handle of the British invasion. You're listening to Been All Around This World.
Yeah. will send thee. Where shall I send thee, Lord? I shall send thee one by one. Well, one was a holy baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. The manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee two by two. Well, two was a fallen Silas and one was a holy. A baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. The manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee three by three. Well, three was the Hebrew children and two was the fallen Silas and one was the holy. A baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. A manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee four by four. Well, four was the four coming knocking at the door. And three were the Hebrew children and two was the fallen Silas and one was the holy. Baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. A manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee five by five. Well, five was the gospel writers and four was the four coming knocking at the door. Tell me three was the Hebrew children and two was the fallen Silas and one was the holy. Baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. A manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee six by six. Well, six was the six that couldn't get fixed. Oh, five was the gospel writers and four was the four coming knocking at the door. Tell me three was the Hebrew children and two was the fallen Silas and one was the holy. Baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. A manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee seven by seven. Well, seven was the seven came down from heaven. Six was the six that couldn't get fixed. And five was the gospel writers and four was the four coming knocking at the door. Tell me three was the Hebrew children and two was the fallen Silas and one was the holy. A baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. The manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee eight by eight. Well, eight was the eight that stood at the gate. And seven was the seven came down from heaven. Six was the six that couldn't get fixed. And five was the gospel writers. And four was the four coming knocking at the door. Oh, three was the Hebrew children. And two was the fallen Silas. And one was the holy. Baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Lord was laid in a holiday. The angel was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. Children, go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee nine by nine. Well, nine was the nine that dressed so fine. Oh, eight was the eight that stood at the gate. Seven was the seven came down from heaven. And six was the six that couldn't get fixed. Oh, five was the gospel writers. And four was the four coming knocking at the door. And three was the Hebrew children. Or three was the fallen Silas. And one was the holy. Baby was born by the Virgin. Mary was wrapped in a holiday. Was laid in a holiday. The manger was born, Lord, born in Bethlehem. You done go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee ten by 10, but 10 was a 10 commandments, and 9 was a 9 that dressed so fine. Oh, 8 was a 8 that's to that, and 7 was a 7 came down from heaven. 6 was a 6 that couldn't get fixed, 5 was the gospel writers, and 4 was the 4 coming knocking at the door. Oh, 3 was the Hebrew children, and 2 was the Paul and Silas, and 1 was the holy baby, was born by the Virgin Mary, was wrapped in a holiday cloth, was laid in a holiday manger, was born, Lordy, born in Bethlehem. Children going, I will send thee. Why shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee. 11 by 11, while 11 was 11 writers, and 10 was the 10 commandments, and 9 was the 9 that dressed so fine. Oh, 8 was the 8 that stood at the gate, and 7 was the 7 came down from heaven, and 6 was the 6 that couldn't get fixed, and 5 was the gospel writers, and 4 was the 4 coming knocking at the door, and 3 was the Hebrew children, and 2 was the Paul and Silas, and 1 was the holy baby, was born by the Virgin Mary, was wrapped in a holiday cloth, was laid in a holiday manger, was born, Lordy, born in Bethlehem. Children, go and I will send thee. Where shall I send thee? Lord, I shall send thee. 12 by 12, well, 12 was the 12 disciples, and 11 was 11 writers, and 10 was the 10 commandments, and 9 was the 9 that dressed so fine, and 8 was the 8 that stood at the gate, and 7 was the 7 came down from heaven, and 6 was the 6 that couldn't get fixed, and 5 was the gospel writers, and 4 was the 4 coming knocking at the door, 3 was the Hebrew children, and 2 was the Paul and Silas, and 1 was the holy baby, was born by the Virgin Mary, was wrapped in a holiday cloth, was laid in a holiday manger, was born in Bethlehem.
There was no room, no room, no room. There was no room, no room at the hotel. And the time had fully come for our Savior to be born. There's no room, Lord, no room, no room. That mother, she got wearing, and she began to cry, 'cause she was to deliver of a man child, and the time had fully come for the Savior to be born. There's no room, Lord, no room, no room. That bellboy, poultry, matron, and wait, they saw that horse loose. As it tied poor Mary away, there was no room, Lord, no room, no room. There's no room, no room in the hotel. And the time had fully come for the Savior to be born. There's no room, Lord, no room, no room. Jesus, little baby Jesus, didn't have no room, no place in the world to be born. Everywhere Mary went, Jesus' mother Mary, for him to be born, there's no room. And nobody would let her come in. They turned away everywhere she went. She went to the hotel. They had a big hotel there. They was just had plenty of rooms, whole lot of rooms. Joseph carried on up the walk there to the old manager place where he was sitting. He looked at her, the bellboy, the poultry, the matron, the maid, his servants were standing there, and they saw that harsh, mean look that he had on his face, and he turned poor Mary away. Said, no room, no room here. You know, I wished I had been there. I'd have give her my bed, and I'd have got up and sit up if I had to sit up on the floor. I couldn't have tain't them away that way. I'd have got her laid in my bed and tell Joseph, her husband, Joseph, I reckon that was her husband, must have been, carried her somewhere else to their home. They wasn't going to live there always, and so they had went everywhere that they know to go. That was bad, too. Joseph was riding a mule, him and Mary. Mary sometime ride on a mule, and he walk, and he ride, and she be walking. Poor Mary, she was suffering in pains. Jesus was to be born. So it's nothing else. Joseph decided in his mind it was a shame to just lay down on the ground right there for Jesus to be born. He wanted to get under some kind of shelter. Mary and Joseph journeyed on back down to this barn where they had left the mule that they was riding. He had a place to stay and they didn't. Those steers and those bulls was looking through the crack, big old cracks in the barn. They was looking at him coming on down that way. They was looking at him as to say out of their eyes, I wish they would come in here. We'll get back and let Jesus be born. And they was just looking at her, breathing with big old wishful eyes. I do believe their eyes was full of water. Oh, big mean-looking bulls. They were better to Mary than people was. They got back, got off in corners, and made room for Mary to come in so she could lay down and Jesus be born. He had to be born in that stable on that nasty old hay, trotted in by those cows and things all night. The oxen got back and let little baby Jesus be born on the hay. And they breathed that warm breath there to keep him warm. He was naked. He didn't have on a thread laying in hay. You know what hay is, don't you, child? He's just laying in the hay. I can remember when I was a child, we had a very, very gentle cow. Her name was Mary. And my older sister used to go out and milk her. She'd sit on the box and be milking, and I'd stand in the front of a cold, frosty morning, white frost, and I'd be just wringing my hands like this, and her warm breath would keep my hands warm. I'd walk up and let her breathe down in my bosom so she could keep me warm down there, just chilly. Well, that's the way they did to baby Jesus. They breathed that warm breath as all of them breathed at once to keep him warm till his mother Mary could find something to wrap him up in. If I had been there, I sure would have given her one of my old dresses. I'd give her anything to wrap him up. Anything she would have took or wanted in my house, I'd have give it to her. I love Jesus. He had a hard time coming into this world. He had to go and be born in an ox of manger, in a stable, be born on hay. And that's the reason I love him, and I want you all to love Jesus with all your might. Because we has a hard time, you know that yourself, we do. We have a hard time, lots of times. And I want y'all to remember that Christmas is Jesus' birthday. And I want y'all to remember this song, too, and don't never forget it. Jesus' birthday, the month that Jesus was born in. You bigger girls should remember it and sing it. Just hand it, sing it to the little ones, yeah? 1 month was Jesus born in, last month in the year. 1 month was Jesus born in, last month in the year. Ooh, Lord, you got January, February, March, oh Lord. You got April, May, and June, Lord. Got the July, August, September, October, and November. You got 25th day of December. It's the last month in the year. I'm talking about Mary's baby. Last month in the year. I'm talking about Mary's baby. Last month in the year. Ooh, Lord, you got January, February, March, oh Lord. You got April, May, and June, Lord. Got the July, August, September, October and November. You got 25th day of December. It's the last month in the year. He was born in an ox or manger. Last month in the year. He was born in an ox or manger. Last month in the year. Ooh, Lord, you got January, February, March, oh Lord. You got April, May, and June, Lord. You got July, August, September, October, and November. You got 25th day of December. It's the last month in the year.
The majestic Vera Ward Hall, late of Livingston, Alabama, with her 1959 recording. First the telling of the story of No Room at the Inn, and then her singing of Last Month of the Year. And that was preceded by Kelley Pace and a group of prisoners at the Cumins State Farm in Arkansas, a 1942 recording of them singing Holy Babe. You're listening to Been All Around This World in our Christmas and New Year's episode, wrapping up 2018. Up next, we're going to hear two performances not made by any Lomax, but with close connections to Alan. The first is the singer Phil Tanner of the Gower Peninsula in South Wales. I will gladly be corrected if this is wrong, but I think it's safe to say that he's the only traditional unaccompanied singer to be recorded and issued on 78 in Britain, that is, of a British singer. Columbia released 2 records of him in 1936. We're going to hear one of those sides, the Gower Wassail. Sounds like a lot of qualifications, only English unaccompanied traditional singer, and indeed the label of the record the Gower Wassail was issued on is highly qualified, with folk singer from Gower and traditional and unaccompanied all appearing in parentheses on the label. Tanner's singing of the Gower Wassail appeared on Lomax and Peter Kennedy's English volume in the Columbia World Library of Folk and Primitive Music series, a beautiful song you might know from later recordings by Shirley Collins and the Wattersons. Speaking of Shirley Collins, we'll then hear a 1978 recording she and her sister Dolly made on their Topic label release For As Many As Will, a song called The Moon Shines Bright. Shirley and Alan, of course, were partners for several years in the 1950s. They traveled together in 1959, as we have discussed previously on Been All Around This World, throughout the American South, making recordings on behalf of the Atlantic Records label. Shirley was on hand for that Vera Hall recording we heard in the last segment. She was also on hand for the 1959 United Sacred Harp Convention, from whence comes the recording we'll hear after Shirley's performance. The English folk carol, As Shepherds Watch Their Flocks, becomes really an earth-shattering thing in the hands of the Sacred Harp singers, appearing as it does in the Sacred Harp hymnal under the name Sherburne. You're listening to Been All Around This World.
Wassail, throughout all this town, our carpet is white and our helmet is brown. Our wassail is made of good ale and cake, some nutmeg and ginger, the best we could get. Aldi-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dee. Aldi-der, aldi-dee, sing to the lido. Our wassail is made of an elberry bough, although my good neighbour will drink unto thou. Beside all others we have apples in store. Pray let us come in, for 'tis cold by the door. Aldi-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dee. Aldi-der, aldi-dee, sing to the lido. We know by the moon that we are not too soon, and we know by the sky that we are not too high. We know by the stars that we are not too far,
and we know by the ground that we are within sound. Aldi-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dee. Aldi-der, aldi-daddy, sing to the Lido. Now, master and mistress, thanks to you we'll give, and for our jolly Wassail as long as we live. And if we should live till another new year, perhaps we may call and see who do live here. Aldi-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dal, aldi-dal-di-dee. Aldi-der, aldi-daddy, sing to the Lido.
The moon shines bright and the stars give a light. In a little while it will be day. Our Lord, our God, He calls upon us all and bids us awake and pray. So dear, Christ loved us, and for our sins God slain. I'd have you to leave all your wicked ways and turn to the Lord again. For the life of a man, it is but a span, and he flourishes like a flower. For he's here today, tomorrow he's gone, and dead all in an hour. Now the clock strikes 1, it's time we were gone, no longer to tarry here. God bless you all, both great and small, and send you a happy new year.
Well, let's sing number 186.
186.
That's right.
While shepherds watch their flocks, all seated on the ground, or as it's known on page 186 in the Sacred Harp, Sherburne, recorded in 1959 by Alan Lomax and Shirley Collins at that year's United Sacred Harp Association Musical Convention. Before that, we heard Shirley Collins with her sister Dolly, the 1978 recording of The Moon Shines Bright, and we started that set with a 1936 recording of Phil Tanner of Gower in South Wales with the Gower Wassail. We have two more songs for you here on the Christmas and New Year's edition of Been All Around This World. Again, thanks for listening and thanks for putting up with us in our highly occasional podcasting system that we have set forth this year. 2019 looks to be a little more regular in terms of podcast production and distribution. We'll leave you with three items, the first of which is a November 1952 recording from the Galician village of Hio in Spain, a song that translates as Happy Entrance or Happy Tidings to the King. It's a song for Epiphany, or as it's known in Spain and a number of Spanish-speaking countries and Eastern European countries, as Three Kings Day, the day when the three kings finally saw the baby Jesus. It's another processional song with singing and some wonderful bagpipe playing. And then we'll finish the narrated portion of the program with a 1960 recording of Bessie Jones and the Georgia Sea Island Singers, joined in this case by Hobart Smith on banjo, Nat Rammings on drum, and Ed Young on the fife with a watch night tune called Yonder Come Day. Bessie explains it in a brief segment that was recorded a couple of years later in New York City. And then we will turn the episode over to a very wonderful artifact maybe only Alan Lomax could have dreamed up from Christmas Day 1957 in England. Alan somehow managed to set up 5 hookups throughout the British Isles and served as MC, dialing in all of these different locations where local Christmas traditions were broadcast to the nation. It was called Sing Christmas and the Turn of the Year, a live Christmas Day broadcast over BBC Radio. Some of it holds up very well. Some of it, especially the skiffle numbers, maybe not so much. But you can see for yourself what you think. The song titles and the artist names will be available via a link on the podcast's Blueberry page. Been all around this world. We wish you a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. My name is Nathan Salzberg. I'm curator of the Alan Lomax Archive at the Association for Cultural Equity. Thanks for listening to our last episode of 2018. We look forward to having you tune in 2019, at which time we will unveil Been All Around This World Mark II, our second season. Take care, everyone.
Nuestra Señoría, toda la gente de casa y la demás compañía, y la demás compañía. De oyentes hay entre reyes por una estrella guiado. Entran por Jerusalén, a voces van preguntando dónde vive el que ha nacido, Rey de todo lo creado. Herodes, aquí estoy yo. Ellos se quedan dudados. Aguinaldo de la rosa, señoras, ¿quién se las dio? Me las dio un caballero que por mi puerta pasó, que por mi puerta pasó. Esta casa sí que es casa, esta sí que es casa grande. donde habita la justicia y la vara del alcalde, y la vara del alcalde. La casa de este señor, amo de cantar baixinho, tengo viño na bodeja, nos regaron trajiño, nos regaron trajiño. Vamos a dar la despedida con muchísima alegría y se quede el señor cura y la demás compañía, y la demás compañía. La casa del señor cura nunca la vi como ahora, ventana sobre ventana, el comedor a la moda, el comedor a la moda.
You were telling me about some of these things when you were little, candy pullings and quiltings and egg crackings and stuff. I've got on here watch night. What's that?
Well, that's just like we're going to have over yonder now. You know, just watch night. Just the watch night meeting when they all be at the church and watching for the New Year's Day to come in.
That's New Year's
for Christmas
and Easter
to come in. Yeah,
Christmas.
That's right. They watch for Christmas too. You know, they sit up all night and sing. You know, different songs and shout and be on their knees when Christmas morning come. You know, just a little full day, Christmas morning, they all gets on their knees. And still, it's a time for the sun to rise, because they all get up there and look to see the sun shout. See, and then on New Year's Day, it's the same way. You know, they be on their knees. The figures to be on their knees then praying, they can pray all the year. That was their sign, and they be singing "Oh Day, Yonder Come Day." Right? They get up and sing that song because day is breaking the New Year's Day. So that's what they were doing, watch night and Christmas night. See. That's had a glorious time with themselves.
Oh, day, yonder come day, oh, day, yonder come day, now, oh, day, yonder come day, day done go in my soul, yonder come day, judgment day, yonder come day, judgment day, yonder come day, judgment day, yonder come day, day done go in my soul, yonder come day, I heard them say, yonder come day, I heard them say, yonder come day, I heard them say, yonder come day, day done go into my soul, yonder come day, dying day, yonder come day, dying day, yonder come day, dying day, yonder come day, day done go into my soul, yonder come day, dying day, yonder come day, dying day, yonder come day, dying day, yonder come day, day done go into my soul, yonder come day, that's the very day, yonder come day, that's the very day, yonder come day, that's the very day, yonder come day, day done go into my soul, yonder come day, I was on my knees, Lord, yonder come day, I was on my knees, Lord, yonder come day, I was on my knees, yonder come day, day done grow into my soul, yonder come day, when I heard them say, yonder come day, oh, I heard them say, yonder come day, when I heard them say, yonder come day, day done grow into my soul, yonder come day, that's a New Year's Day, yonder come day, oh, it's a New Year's Day, yonder come day, oh, it's a New Year's Day, yonder come day, day done grow into my soul, yonder come day, oh, come on, child, yonder come day, oh, come on, child, yonder come day, oh, come on, child, yonder come day, day done grow into my soul, yonder come day. Oh, yonder come day, yonder come day, day done grow into my soul, yonder come day, I heard them say, yonder come day, heard them say, yonder come day, I heard them say, yonder come day, day done grow into my soul, yonder come
say, yonder come day, day that broke into my soul, yonder come day.
This is the BBC Home Service.
A Merry Christmas, Britain! We're all here. Wales is here.
Dolly, a happy Christmas to you all.
And Plymouth, are you on the line?
Yes, and Wassail to you from the West Country.
And how about you in the North? Come in, Castletown, Derbyshire.
We're all here, and there's a right welcome to you from Cheshire Cheese at Castleton, Derbyshire.
And North again. Are we hooked up to you, Scotland?
Aye, we're here ready for you. As they'd say in the Gaelic, 100,000 welcomes.
Now, Belfast, let's have you.
And the compliments of the season to you all.
And London, make us 7.
Yes, we're here in London with skiffle, calypso, buskers and all, wishing you all the best from Old Smoke.
It's a Kelley, it's a party, it's a sing-song, it's Merry Christmas, it's Sing Christmas!
From the 7 sides of Britain, we present Sing Christmas and the Turn of the Year, introduced from Birmingham by Alan Lomax.
Men came inside, gathering winter fuel.
Back home in Texas, where I had my first Christmases, we knew about good King Wenceslas. In fact, in my family, we sang all the carols. And Christmas morning, like all kids, we were wild to see the Christmas tree. So about 3 a.m., we'd crawl across the icy floor to our parents' bed, wrap up in a quilt, and quaver out a carol in the dark. We thought we were making wonderful music, and Mother thought so too, for she'd cry as she listened. I reckon the sound we made was pretty close kin to what you've been hearing outside your own windows for the last few days, and probably this morning as well.
Tread thou in them boldly, thou shalt find the winter's rage, freeze thy blood and...
Now, these lines about King Wenceslas and his page are really new verses to an old Mayday carol, a dance tune, for dancing at the end of the year is old as the custom of gift-giving. The Romans gave each other rich gifts at the turn of the year, and they sang and danced in rowdy choruses. The very word carol comes from chorus, and when carols began, the people danced them to the hottest tempos they knew. That's why when Brian Newey's skiffle group swings out on Wenceslas, it's right in the tradition. So let's have it, London. Hot off that bull fiddle.
Now in his master's steps he strode, where the snow lay dinted. He was in that very song which the saint had printed. Therefore, Christian men, be sure, wealth no rank possess him. He now shall bless the fortune, find yourself a blessing.
The rhythm changes, but the idea of singing, dancing, and carousing the old year out and the new year in has never changed. In the Middle Ages, the peasant wassailers, standing in the snow under the castle windows, discovered a new feeling in the carol, something as gentle and eternal as starlight.
This is the truth sent from above, the truth of God, the God of love. Therefore don't turn me from your door, but hearken all, both rich and poor.
No one knows who composed these old Christmas songs, poor friars, simple folk probably. But these old-time troubadours of the carol had taken music a big stride ahead, and by forsaking the old slow melodies of the church, began modern music, which has always been based on the dance. They linked the ivy of mysticism and meditation with the fat-cheeked holly of firelight and friendliness in a new glowing style of song that told the story of the birth of the Prince of Peace with reverence and with joy, as in this ancient carol that comes down the line to us from Scotland and the choir of Hatter House, Aberdeenshire. The carols blaze around the seven sides of Britain this morning like the brandy round a Christmas pudding. And so we open up our microphone 500 miles to the south from Cornwall, and we hear another version of The Holly and the Ivy by the Skinner's Bottom Glee Singers.
Now the holly bears a berry as black as the coal, and Mary bore Jesus, who died for us. Christ, our Savior, for to be, and the first tree in the greenwood, it was the holly, 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 and the first.
And now here's Peter Kennedy speaking from Plymouth to introduce more Christmas from West Country.
The west of England has always been carol country, and here the people once abided by King Alfred's decree that Christmas should last for 12 days, from Christmas Eve until the 6th of January. And so their wassailing, or making music for luck, might fall on any of these days. Charlie Bates here can tell you about that.
Well, we in Cornwall come out on Boxing Day, we black our faces and parade in the streets with accordions, tambourine, bones, any sort of instrument that'll make a good and lively noise. And this wassail song I'm going to sing you has been sung from door to door in Padstow and neighbouring districts in St. Mirren where I live for a long, long time. My dad used to sing it and mother used to sing it. Oh, master and mistress, our wassail begins. Pray open your door and let us come in with our wassail, 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 wassail. And joy comes with our jolly wassail. Oh, master and mistress, sitting down at your ease, put your hands in your pocket and give what you please to our wassail, 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 wassail. And joy comes with our jolly wassail.
North from Cornwall, wassailing now to the streets of Marshfield in Gloucestershire, where the mamas, shrouded in costumes of streamers like so many African witch doctors, prance and stamp the old year out and the new year in. First of all comes the man with the collecting box.
A little of your money in our pocket would be a jolly fine thing. La la la, la la la, la la, dee-di-do. Hi, 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 the people cry, we'll concern a king.
Seated on a nanny goat just like a Christmas king. Fa-la-la, 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 dee-di-do.
The bells ring out across the West Country this Christmas morning, and man listens and drinks at the Springs of Wonder, like the sailor from Devonport, Petty Officer Tawney of HMS Murray.
I wonder, as I wander all under the sky, why Jesus our Savior did come for to die, for poor ordinary people like you and like I wonder, as I wander all under the sky. When Mary birthed Jesus, 'twas in a cow stall, with shepherds and farmers and wise men and all. But high in God's heaven a star's light did fall, the promise of the ages it then did recall.
The buskers knock at your door and the songs knock at your heart, and you wonder why every day can't be like Christmas. Now that the whole world has become a sort of Christmas tree loaded down with presents for everybody, why can't we give each other the things we want instead of guns and atom bombs? Because back of all the threats and the big noises in the papers and the parliaments, we're all just like these East Anglian kids who sing...
Happy Christmas to you all. Merry Christmas!
The shining lines from our studio stripe the green land like silver tinsel on a Christmas tree, linking all the counties east to west. And here, this one leaps north from Birmingham to the snowy fells of Derbyshire, where Ewan McCall and 100 hill farmers and their wives are carol singing in a pub called the Cheshire Cheese.
Here in the Derbyshire limestone country, people take their carols seriously. Every village, every hamlet has its own carols. And indeed, old-timers will tell you that in the old days it was the custom for lead miners to save the largest piece of ore mined during Christmas week. This they would decorate with candles. And on Christmas Eve, they would sit in the mine and sing carols, like this one you're hearing now, until the candles had guttered out. To the makers of carols, Jesus was first of all a very human child who needed protection from the cold and wet like other babies. One carol tells how his mother whipped him for being naughty. And this is why, in this modern Christmas ballad, Jesus is painted as a carpenter, a working man who faced the same problems as the people among whom I grew up here in the industrial north.
Jesus was a working man, a hero you shall hear, born in the slums of Bethlehem at the turning of the year, yes, the turning of the year. His father, he apprenticed him a carpenter to be, to plane and drill and work with skill in the town of Galilee. Yes, the town of Galilee. He became a roving journeyman, and he wandered far and wide, and he saw how wealth and poverty live always side by side, yes, always side by side. Now Jesus walked among the poor, for the poor were his own kind, and they wouldn't let the cops get near enough to take him from behind, yes, to take him from behind. So they hired a man of the traitor's trade, and a stool pigeon was he, and he sold his brother to the butcher's men for a fistful of silver money, a fistful of money. Jesus lay in the prison cell, and they beat him and offered him bribes to desert the cause of his own poor folk and work for the rich man's tribe, yes, work for the rich man's tribe. The sweat stood out upon his brow, and the blood was in his eye, and they nailed his body to the Roman cross, and they laughed as they watched him die, yes, they laughed as they watched him die. 2,000 years have passed and gone, and many a hero too, and the dream of this poor carpenter, at last it is coming true, yes, at last it is coming true.
Another fragment of Northern Christmas lore shows us that the people, especially in the Middle Ages, took their religion so real and natural a thing that they could laugh at it and not cease to live it reverently. You feel this in the old nativity plays, like this one from Yorkshire, where the shepherds bring the infant Jesus a bob of cherries and a tennis ball to play with.
Hail, comely and clean. Hail, young child, maker, as I mean, of a maiden so mild. Have a bob of cherries.
Hail, sweet is thy cheer. My heart would bleed to see thee sit here in so poor weed, with no pennies. Hail, put forth thy doll. I bring thee but a ball. Have and play thee withal, and go to the tennis.
Nativity scene to these shepherds of the north that they composed cradle songs for their Christmas plays and rocked the image of the babe and sang,
That was the Hollywood Girls' Choir. The man who humanized Christmas was St. Francis, he, the sweet-voiced troubadour of the Holy Spirit, the godfather of the carol, and the designer of the first nativity scenes, crowding it with the animals that he loved so much. And here, in this East Anglian Christmas play composed in 1957 by Sheila Chester and performed in a Wisbeck cinema house, the hand of the kind little saint of Assisi is clear. And now the jester in the play leads the shepherds to the crib and makes the audience giggle.
Here is my little master now, sleeping with silly ass and car. Oh, little master, have good cheer. Thomas, your clown, has come, my dear. And he has brought for you to tease 2 little bladders full of peas. One's right cow's tail, as good as new, the jester's toys I bring to you.
St. Francis advised his missionaries that the best way to conquer the world was not with long faces, but with shouts of laughter. And laughter is the very marrow of Christmas Day, especially in England. So, now for a look at the lighter side of Christmas, we take you to London and to your host, Charles Chilton.
Plum puddings, goose, capon, mince pies, and roast beef. Oh, Christmas has come to keep open house. He scorns to be guilty of starving a mouse. London, town of Dickens, still lives up to the tradition of a land where King Richard's men once broached 200 tons of wine and roasted 2,000 oxen for a Christmas feast. And here, at a Christmas sing-song, Bert Lloyd romps through a Derbyshire wassailing ballad, The Derby Ram.
Let's go. I was going to Derby all on a market day. I met the biggest ram, my boys, that ever was fed on hay. And indeed, lad, it's true, my lad, never was known to lie. And if you'd been in Derby, you'd seen him the same as I. He had 4 feet to walk upon, had 4 feet to stand, and everywhere he put them down, they covered an acre of land. And indeed, lad, it's true, lad, never was known to lie. And if you've been in Derby, you'd see the same as I. The wool on this ram's back, my boys, grew so very high. The eagles come and built their nests, and I heard the young ones cry. Never was known to lie. And if you've been in Derby, you've seen the same as I. And now my song is ended, I've nothing more to say. So give us another pint of beer and we'll all of us go away. And indeed, that is true, my lad, never was known to lie. And if you've been in Derby, you've seen the same as I.
The spirit of our old Christmas revels has captured the hearts of people far and wide across the seas and spread Christmas to lands where snow never falls. Here Fitzroy Coleman, one of the kings of Trinidad Calypso, paints his picture of Christmas in London.
Mama, mama, will you like to join your sonny? I am over here, happier in the mother country. Darling, for this Christmas, your son will be really jumping. Listen to the chorus of what we all will be singing. Drink a rum, this is Christmas morning. Drink a rum, pung pang. Again, mama, I have invited Jamaica, lovely Grenada, Barbados and Demerara. It's an invitation for a stupendous occasion. You can just imagine, we fete until New Year's morning. Drink a rum, this is Christmas morning. Drink a rum, boom bang. This Christmas day, when Big Ben alarm 6:30, we are on the way to begin this festivity. Later in the evening, we passing through Piccadilly, everybody dancing and singing the same melody. Drink a rum, this is Christmas morning. Drink a rum, boom bang. The party is grand. People of all description, you must understand. Turkey to supply a nation. Now until January, we eating, laughing, and making merry. Yes, to everyone's family, good health, good luck, and prosperity. Singing, drink a rum, this is Christmas morning. Drink a rum, boom bang.
A Calypsonian carol from a London West Indian. And now the music that stands the old year on its head in Ghana, West Africa. They call it High Life. And Ransboy's drum band from the Abalabi Club throw it into high gear with 3 drums, calabash and electric guitar, just the way their friends in Lagos and Accra are doing this Christmas morning.
Christmas music that jumps for joy. Here, as always, among folk Negroes, you find a relaxed, personal sort of religion, so that the spirituals say, I got shoes, you got shoes, all God's children got shoes. When I get to heaven, I'm going to put on my shoes. I'm going to walk all over God's heaven. Yes, I'm going to walk all over God's heaven. And so, a Negro woman composing a Christmas lullaby imagines herself to be the mother of Jesus, and rocks and hums and wonders what she's going to call that newborn baby.
The Virgin Mary had a one son. Glory, hallelujah. A pretty little baby. Glory be to the newborn King. Mary, what you gonna name that pretty little baby? Glory, hallelujah. Pretty little baby. Glory be to the newborn King. Some call him a one thing, think I call him Jesus. Jesus. Think I call him Jesus. Glory be to the newborn King. Some call him a one thing, I think I call him Counselor. Glory, hallelujah. Think I call him Counselor. Glory be to the newborn King. Some call him a one thing, I think I call him Emmanuel. Glory, hallelujah.
No matter how you celebrate or sing it, Christmas means home. It's a Negro woman humming the story of the Christ child as she moves about her kitchen. It's a Scottish fisherman reading the story of the Magi to his family.
And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said one to another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which the Lord hath made known unto us. And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen it, they made known abroad the sayings which were told them concerning this child. And all they that heard it wondered at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart.
That family Bible reading by Skipper Duthie of Fraserburgh is an example of the strong, simple religious faith among Scottish fisherfolk. Yet many Scots must go to work on Christmas Day. Here's a crew from Peterhead in the Twinkling Star with skipper Peter Buchan singing as they plough the grey North Sea for the harvest of fish. And what do they sing? The 23rd Psalm in the metrical version. But for many a seaman, Christmas is leaving home, as it was for Robert Louis Stevenson when he wrote, And I've always sniffed the victuals as the vessel went about, and the ship smelt up to windward as though she understood. But all that I could think of in the darkness and the cold was just that I was leaving home, and my folks were growing old. And for many an emigrant bound west across the sea, the Hebridean mother has this last prayer of blessing in the Gaelic.
Be the great God between thy two shoulders, to protect thee in thy going and in thy coming. Be the Son of Mary Virgin near thine heart, and be the perfect Spirit upon thee pouring. Oh, the perfect Spirit upon thee pouring.
The Spirit of Christmas. Here's an ancient Gaelic lullaby found in Eriskay by Father Alan MacDonald. It's the Christ Child lullaby. This day, Flora MacNeil of Bara sings to her own bairn on her knee the legendary lullaby of Mary to the Christ Child. Now it's north, as far north as you can go. On Christmas Eve in Shetland, the small children dress up and go guising, singing a song and collecting cash. But our big time of the year holiday in Scotland starts on the 7th day of your 12 days of Christmas, on New Year's Eve. It's Hogmanay, and on that night in Scotland, the lid comes off.
One Hogmanay at the Glasgow Fair, there were me, myself, and several men. We all get up to pay a chair and spend the night in Wassail. We wandered through the Brummie, through wind and rain and sleet and snow, and 40 minutes after two we got the length of Wassail. Da-da-ma-dum-ma-doo-a-day, da-da-ma-dum-ma-daddy-o, da-da-ma-dum-ma-doo-a-day, the day we went to Wassail. In search of luncheons we did slide to find a place where we could bide. There was 82 of us inside a single end in Wassail. We all had into tackeries and one of the boys began to sneeze, waking 500,000 fleas in a single end in Wassail. Da-da-ma-dum-ma-doo-a-day, da-da-ma-dum-ma-daddy-o, da-da-ma-dum-ma-doo-a-day, the day we went to Wassail. There were several different kinds of bugs. Some had feet like dyer's plugs. They sat in a bed and they cooked at their lugs and cried hurrah for Wassail. Said I think we should have loved, so we went and joined the band. I hope that the police wouldn't have let us stop another hour in Wassail. Da-da-ma-dum-ma-doo-a-day, da-da-ma-dum-ma-daddy-o, da-da-ma-dum-ma-doo-a-day, the day we went to...
And now, throwing our shining lines across the whole of the South, let's answer Scotland's Hogmanay song with a carol from the four sides of England. Come in, Derbyshire.
God rest you, merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Saviour was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we had gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy.
Now, Plymouth!
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. In Bethlehem of Jewry this blessed babe was born, and laid within a manger upon this blessed morn, to which his mother Mary did nothing take in scorn. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy.
Give it London!
Of comfort and joy. Now bless the master of this house and send him along to reign, and many a happy Christmas may we live to see again. For all our friends and kindred will sing with might and main. Oh, God send you a happy new year.
Birmingham.
And God send you a happy new year. Now to the Lord sing praises, all ye within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas all others must efface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Well, you can see why Cromwell and the Puritans just couldn't manage to abolish Christmas. There was too much in it. Too much fun, too much faith, too many good tunes, too many soul and belly-satisfying customs. Today we're celebrating a sort of an anniversary, for in Christmas 1644, Christmas fell, as it falls today, on a Wednesday, which was then held to be a day of fasting and prayer. Parliament thereupon solemnly outlawed Christmas and ordered all the shops to be kept open and business to continue as usual. Well, they just about had a revolution. The people of Canterbury defied the mayor and the police. They broke the sheriff's pate, sacked the shops that stayed open, and opened all the jails and took over the city. And this was only one of many such riots in favor of Christmas. An anonymous pamphlet appeared telling how Father Christmas had broke out of prison on the holidays and got away, only leaving his hoary hair and gray beard to stick it in the iron bars of the windows. And in spite of all the Puritans could do, he's remained at large ever since, hiding at first in the far reaches of the islands, and then as city folks rediscovered the pleasures of Christmas and the sweetness of the carols, gradually extending his reign until today he reigns again everywhere. Long live Father Christmas! Now let's have a party. Come in, Belfast!
A cherry pip in the cracking crunch, iron on the table, a jug of punch. As I was sitting with jug and fern on one fine morning in the month of June, a birdie sang on a navy punch, and the song he sang was the jug of punch. A birdie sang on a navy punch, and the song he sang was the jug of punch. What more diversion can a man desire than to court a girl by a little fire? A cherry pip in the crack and crunch, iron on the table, a jug of punch.
Well, that's the McPeak family with their union pipes and their harp, keeping alive the old tunes. And indeed making new ones too, because that's the way they do it here. And the same thing, of course, applies to our other ways of making music, like our flute bands, for instance. The folk music of Christmas isn't confined to traditional instruments, then. We play them on our flutes, for example. And our Irish tunes have travelled around the globe, played on anything that could make a tune, and enjoyed everywhere that people knew the reel or the jig or the hornpipe. Listen to Gerard O'Kane, for instance, on his mandolin.
Now this Irish tune pops up in Birmingham with our fiddler Katie Graham in Millicent's Hornpipe. And we hear the Irish influence again in the tune Tenpenny Bit, played by the Rakes in London. But always the Irish musical language is spoken most perfectly by the Uilleann pipes under the fingers of that master, Seamus Ennis. With Seamus ratapoling on his pipes, we hit what's probably the peak of the merry music appropriate to Christmastide in Britain. Well, we've had the holly, now let's have the ivy of Christmas, and listen to the oldest and finest folk ballad of Christmas, the Cherry Tree Carol, sung by Shirley Collins of Hastings.
Mary and Joseph were walking one day to an orchard of cherry trees. They happened to stray. Mary said to Joseph, "Some meat and some more. Pick me some cherries, Joseph, for I am with joy." Then Joseph, he flew angry, so angry flew he. Let the father of your baby gather cherries for thee. Then the cherry trees bowed down, bowed low to the ground, and Mary gathered cherries while Joseph stood around.
With a poet of long ago, we sing of a maiden that is mechless, king of all kings, to her son see chess. He came also still where his mother was, as dew in April that falleth on the grass. This theme finds voice in an old carol from Anglesey in Wales. This day a child was born, and all the prophecies are fulfilled in him who now sleeps in Mary's breast. And with this Welsh choral piece, we return to a main theme for Christmas in song, to the longing for home that the Welsh far across the sea feel for their homeland. The song comes to us from Bangor, performed by Sean Emlyn.
We bought eyes, o babes, ac wnaes pwyd hir eyes, a pa ddefnydd a roed anaddo, na
Home songs, carols, dance tunes, all this is familiar to an American like myself, But to me, the exciting Christmas lure in Britain is the mumming, the guising, the acting and dancing out of the drama of the turn of the year. Down in Dorset, Father Christmas of the Simmonsbury Mummers opens the play with lines that were young when Will Shakespeare watched the mummers in Stratford.
Here comes I, O Father Christmas, welcome or welcome not. I hope that O Father Christmas will never be forgot.
And right on the heels of Father Christmas comes a strange character called Room.
God bless you all, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis Christmas time, and I be come again. My name is Room, one that is sincere and true. And a Merry Christmas I wish all of you. The King of Egypt is for to display a noble champion without delay. St. Patrick, too, a charming Irish youth, can fight, sing, or dance. Hey, or he can love a maid with truth.
The play that follows this cider-filled Dorset beginning is a mishmash of knights and kings and sword fights and low-down country comedy, in which the main idea is that humanity can't be downed, that spring will come and life will go on no matter what happens. This, the oldest of human dramas, has a happy ending. All the dead men on the stage come to life again and dance and sing, and for that part of the play, we take you north.
Look at them lovely smiles of them 5 lovely lads. Get over there, did you see that? Ah! And what's this one? Right of the nose.
All these folk are questers for presents, swapping their dances and their tunes for a bit of Christmas money. In the cities of the industrial north, the brass bands nowadays take over the busking, like these talented boys from Hazelingdon.
Hey, wait a minute up there. If you're letting brass bands into your traditional Christmas program, we've got something in London that can beat that. We've got the Happy Wanderers, turning the old carols into Dixieland jazz all up and down Oxford Street. And right now they're playing what is almost their theme tune, When the Saints Go Marching In.
Saints go marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number. Oh, when the saints go marching in. Yes, ever since the time of St. Francis, the carols have been springing up like wildflowers. The clear water has kept flowing out of this ancient wellspring of music and human faith. And so Dominic Behan, a street singer from Dublin, holds a London crowd with a new Christmas ballad.
Was Mary conceived all in the year of one? Jesus, the finest and the bravest of history's sons. There in a stable in Bethlehem gave unto him birth, and fled from the soldiers of Herod, who for them searched. Later brave Jesus returned to Galilee. He spoke of his people protesting their misery. 12 men he gathered around him as he went. 12 good men and true for his gospel to represent. Down to the markets they went, and from door to door, preaching the teachings of Christ to defend the poor. From Judea to Jordan they spoke of the water that there could be.
Here we bring new water from the well so clear for to worship God with this happy New Year. Christmas morning, 500 years ago, you might have heard this carol echoing in the great nave of the Durham Cathedral. But the same spirit of tender beauty lives on in much of the church music being sung this Christmas morning throughout Britain. In Wales, where the congregation sings the Lord's Prayer in their own language. I suppose that the hymn that means Christmas to most of us, however, is Adeste Fidelis. Answering beauty, a woman of the Highlands speaks one of the ancient mystic poems of her people.
I am the gift, I am the poor, I am the man of this night. I am the Son of God in the door, on Monday, seeking the gifts. Noble is bride, the gentle fair on her knee. Noble the King of glory on her breast. Son of the moon, son of the sun, great Son of Mary of godlike mind, a cross on each right shoulder. I am in the door, open thou. I see the hills, I see the strand, I see angels heralding on high. I see the dove shape softly benign, coming with kindness and friendship to us.
And now let's tie England up again in the silver tinsel of our telephone lines in one final carol sing on this Christmas morning. Come in, Derbyshire. And now Peter Kennedy and Charlie Bate. Let's hear from you in Plymouth, down in the West Country.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in, come sailing in, come sailing in. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. And who do you think they got on board, got on board, got on board? And who do you think they got on board with Jesus and his...
And now Charlie Chilton, bring in those skifflers and the rakes with this one.
Sail all over this town, our cockpit is white and our railing is brown. Our cockpit is made of the good ashen tree. The wassailing bow we will drink unto thee. Wassail, wassail, wassail. Then here's to the maid with the lily white brow. Do trip to the door and slip back the lock. Do trip to the door and pull back the pin. All for to land us wassailers in. Wassail, wassail, wassail.
Yeah, there was an old man, and he had an old cow, and how for to keep her, he didn't know how. He built up a barn to keep his old cow warm, and a drop or two of cider won't do us no harm. Now let's everybody sing.
Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wassailing, the better to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail crew. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
Everybody!
We are not daily beggars, we beg from door to door. But we are all your neighbors, and now our song we know. Love and joy come to you, and to you your wassail true. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
Sing Christmas and the Turn of the Year was written and introduced from Birmingham by Alan Lomax. Production was by Charles Parker, with the help of Archie Lee and George Bruce in Scotland, John Musgrave in Manchester, E.W. Boucher in Belfast, J.V. Glassborough in Plymouth, James Williams in Bangor, and David Thompson in London.